Never be limited by limited imagination. Be curious, be creative, be imaginative. Good morning, IIEBM. My name is Balkrishna, and we are back again with another Power Packed session. I welcome you all to IIEBM Original Direct to Home lecture series, Hands On, Plugs On, Minds On. Before I introduce you to today's speaker, let me take you through the itinerary of the session. The session is of 45 minutes of knowledge sharing, followed by 15 minutes of question and answers. So do post your interesting, igniting, and awakening questions. Our today's guest speaker is a celebrity, a role model, and a person who inspired most of us to be a scientist, to be creative, and moreover, to be curious. It gives me honor and joy to introduce you to our today's guest speaker, Mr. Prateek Sethi, the jungly share of creative industry. He's an explorer. New excites him, old fascinates him. The present captivates him, and future makes him smile. They say madness cannot be cultivated, but Mr. Sethi is born with it. Mr. Prateek Sethi is a communication designer and creative director at Trip Creative Services. Trip Creative Services, an award-winning communication design house based out of Mumbai and Pune. Mr. Sethi is an alumnus of National Institute of Design, Ahmedabad, and has also done executive program from Cambridge Judge Business School. His journey has been a mad rush of thought and action. An animator, producer, director, designer, and an avid aerial cinematographer with over 15 years of experience, always on the lookout for new and exciting ways to engage audiences. You must have seen him on TV shows, and one of the most popular one is where he is hosting the all-time favorite show, FAQ, with his fellow character, Crash. He loves to watch people playing video games. Mr. Sethi is a born traveler, and he spends his holiday traveling mostly to the mountains of Himalayas and other remote territories across the world. So ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's welcome the perfect blend of left and right brain, Mr. Prateek Sethi.
Hi, Balkrishna. Thank you so much for that lovely introduction. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. So I'll just get straight into it and let's get cracking. Okay. Is my screen visible?
Not yet, sir.
Okay.
Yes, now it is.
Now it is. All right, great. So hi, everyone. Prateek Sethi. I'm a communication designer. This is the friendly Rex who's going to be taking us through this presentation. As I would like to start with a saying which is by Charles Eames, which says, "Beyond the age of information is the age of choices." This presentation might seem a little haphazard to you, but another famous saying by Mr. Eames is that everything comes together, and it's happening right now. So let's start with what this presentation is about. It's about communication design, the new horizon. Now, there are books and books of information written on this about communication design as a medium and about what it entails. But largely, and putting it straight to the nutshell, it is utilizing anything that strategically expresses information. And this could be a conversation between two people. Just getting a point across from A to B and back is a communication circle completed. So what is visual communication design, which is something that in the fields of that I work with? Animation, film, graphics, web plus, and new media. New media being what we are using right now to communicate with each other, and for me to make this presentation as well. It also entails all the newer things, which is augmented reality, virtual reality, and so on and so forth. I will quickly take you through each one of these headings with the work that we've done previously. This is my company, Trip Creative Services. We offer services in animation, motion, film, video, branding, graphics, web plus, blah, 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 blah. But what we decided was that, look, it's none of this. It's what we help people communicate, and we provide communication design services. So when we started out, we used to begin with giving a little card to our prospective clients, which had the word work written on it, and you'll see it on the right-hand side of the screen. And it says, work, let's talk without using these words, which is low, no budget. We are startups, yesterday, never seen before. Edgy, funky, cool, which is a common usage of these words by television blokes. saying कि अरे कुछ snazzy बनाते हैं, कुछ urban, funky, cool, for youth market especially. So we decided, okay, let's break the ice and put client expectations right by sharing this card in the beginning and saying, hey, let's talk about work without using these words. So things to always keep the communication straight up both ways. And we can also then work on more exciting things for what they want in terms of a promo or whatever going forward. With that, we've been able to garner quite a few clients over the years, and these clients have become friends and they have become brand custodians, and we've pretty much had a word of mouth growth, which is something that we're very proud of. And I'm very proud of my team also, who have been constantly working really hard to just up their game year on year. So I will just show you quickly my the company trip showreel. If we can play this video, please.
Into the intro, I present to you it's a monster. Burn him down. I guess it's broken.
Let me try again.
I guess it's broken.
Thank you. So I'm just going to get back to this screen. Okay, great. So just, sorry, 1 second. I'll just get into this. So yeah, this presentation is going to have a couple of trip case studies, a couple of experiments that we've done, the situation that we find ourselves in, and the future. So that's what we need to look at. I'll start with animation. Animation is one of the best tools for communicating things which are fantastical. It comes in handy for explainers, for things which the imagination can control, but you cannot shoot in live action. For example, for you to shoot the insides of an internal combustion engine is extremely difficult, where animation helps really well in terms of putting that communication across to the audience. One of the first shows that we did as part of Trip was FAQ's work. We did a lot of in-show graphics for the show, and I also got to design my lovable co-host, Crash. The reason why we put Crash there was so that we could do things which we could not to human beings. So if things had to blow up, or if experiments went wrong, or if there was any humor that needed to be added in, we had Crash to fall back on. So whatever you put into a frame, or whatever you put in terms of your communication, should always be designed in such a way that you ask the questions why. Why is it there? What is its purpose? What will it bring to the overall aspect of the thought that you're trying to put across? Film and video, that's next, which is again ads, from ads to BTS to communications that are happening on large screens. All the things that we see on the internet in terms of the video content is extremely relevant, and it kind of adds a human touch to everything, because then it becomes something that you can see, you can believe. Can we play the Kodiak video? I will just give one word before you can do that, is that this was something that we were brought in for by the Skoda PR team, and the Kodiak is a SUV, and the thought was that this SUV can do off-terrain as well. And we were like, look, rather than talking about it, let's just show it. And then we went on an expedition to Spiti, in which we showed it. And this is the expedition video. We can play the video, please. Okay, so this was one piece of communication. Yes, we're good to go on this one. Okay, fantastic. Let's play this. All right, so graphics, right? So graphics entails a lot of everything which is happening in terms of a still visual. Your brand stands is a part of graphics, and that includes brands, brand architecture, brand tonality, brand language. It's about how you present yourself or your brand that you're going to be working with to the masses at large, to your vendors, to your future prospective clients. It doesn't matter whether it's B2B or B2C. It's about how you position it, and each positioning will have its own challenges that you need to adhere to. Graphics can range from graffiti to your Instagram posts, to album covers, to logo design, to tent cards, standees, restaurant menus. It's a huge gambit and a huge playing field in terms of the communication that needs to be put across, including billboards. Web Plus, which is your website, which is your, as it's called, your first look in terms of your web presence. These range obviously from the fun to the extremely corporate. We were called in for doing the Skoda Volkswagen group website, and this was once the group merged together. Again, great initiative by the PR team to get all the communications right. And the reason why I show this here is because you can have the really fun stuff, which is colorful and splashy and very loud, and you can have something which is extremely clean and communicative. And that is dependent on knowing who your audience is and what the reason for that particular communication is meant. Going forward, there's apps and games, which is another massive business module and also a communication platform. We've had the pleasure of designing on-ground games as well. With Unilever in 2011, we'd done a hand-washing campaign under the guidance of Mariam Sidibe, at that time the global lead of Lifebuoy. And we made a film, and then they really liked the film, and then they said, okay, let's push it further and let's make ground games. And then we made a like back then flash game about washing hands. And the fun part about this was that the whole campaign got translated into 90 languages. So it was our first truly global campaign. And unfortunately, it's still extremely relevant today with the times that we're in, washing hands especially. Multi-screen content. So every time you have a big project or a big product launch, you end up doing this massive PR event in which whether it be Google Google or it be YouTube or it be Skoda or any car release, you have these massive big screens with a lot of data about the product that are showcased to the press and to the masses at large. We've luckily had the pleasure of doing quite a few of Skoda car launches with the PR team, and it's always following a certain brand language that is extremely important. At the same time, we've also done really mad stuff with MTV. We once we were brought in by MTV Indies Awkwards to design a trophy, which was actually a brick. So people were given a brick as a trophy for their work, and of course it was a complete excuse my French, it was a complete fuck you to the whole award ceremony game. They were just like, look, let's just give awards for the most random things, like the sweatiest, hairiest singer whose name starts with a V. I would have loved to show you the video, but we've kind of taken it out because of the interface. You can probably see it on the Trip YouTube channel. In 2020, we've also had the pleasure of doing the content for the first ever Skoda Auto Volkswagen India Private Limited Media Night, which showcased the upcoming products of 5 brands, which is Skoda, Volkswagen, Audi, Lamborghini, and Porsche. So this was a massive thing and massive event also. As you can see from the image, there was big head honchos from the world would come in, and the Skoda PR team really put it together fantastically well. I'm going to be playing a quick video of the event itself. If we can play the video, please. Okay, great. Want to share the screen again?
Sir, you can share the screen.
Okay, thank you. All right, and we're back to this. Amazing. Okay, and right. So again, pre-COVID, there's another series that we're still continuing to work on, which is called Folktales of India, which showcases the beautiful folktale and the folklore culture that we have across our Indian subcontinent. But the thing that we've added to it is that we've added the art form of that particular region as well. So if the folktale is, say, from Arunachal Pradesh, it's got the art form of Arunachal Pradesh. If it's from Bengal, then it's done in that particular style. Like if it's from, say, Rajasthan, it's been done in the miniature style, and so on and so forth. So they're different. I mean, of course, that's just one. There are multiple styles within the state as well of art. And each story, depending on which region it belongs to, we've tried to kind of showcase the art style of that region as well. It's a YouTube channel that you can definitely check out. It's just to showcase the beautiful cultural heritage that India has. Right. New horizons, always keep experimenting, always keep learning. So largely in the previous few slides, I showed you what visual communication design is, but there's no written rules as such. Communication, like I said, is as simple as communicating between 2 people. If 2 people have a conversation, the communication can be done. You don't need massive technology and big things for you to get your point across. It's extremely important to make your point relevant and concise, and just put it forth to the desired target audience. So this is some of the experiments that we've been doing over the years. One is Happy Building, which is happybuilding.tv. It's also a YouTube channel, and it's something that we started after FAQ, because TV has its constraints in terms of time. So there's only that much that you can build. But if I say want to build a robot, which requires, say, about half an hour to 45 minutes to build, I could never show that on TV. YouTube as a platform and the internet gave us that ability to be able to create larger format things, which could then be picked up by learners, to see it step by step. So the next video is a promo for that, which can be played out, please. Get ready for facts, hacks, and robots. Dive in and find out there's lots to build. Subscribe now on YouTube. Okay. Right. Next is an experiment that we've been working with called Animators Guild of India, which is a community to get all of our Indian animators together so you can see the kind of good work that the people have been doing. We have a good, solid community which is doing some great work. So this magazine, online magazine that we've started showcases that, and it's not just related to animation, it's related to also the peripheral and the things that come in handy. For example, 3D printing. So there's an article on 3D printing and how it can be done at home, and you can build from that. There's also Fortis Marketing, which I think is also a company that comes and takes courses with you guys. They've done some great work with their silicones and casts, which come in handy for VFX and for building content for communicators. So that is something else as well. So this is a platform which you should check out when you have the time, because it'll open your eyes in terms of the great content that's coming out of Indian animation. AR, VR 360. So these are things which are now taking over in terms of the future of what's happening around. I'm going to take you through some of our case studies. We've had the pleasure of shooting 360 videos for locations, especially the Ladakh Sarai group of hotels in Ladakh. And what it does is it helps the person who wants to make a booking actually experience the place at that time, and therefore have a more virtual experience of it. I mean, in that sense, and the difference between AR and VR, I'm just going to come back to the previous slide, is augmented reality is when you see this room as the way it is, but you put in information and another piece of reality into it, versus virtual reality is when you completely immerse yourself in it. And 360 videos usually come in which you have to wear the headsets and you kind of immerse into that reality. Although it's not made, it's not 3D generated, but it is putting you in Ladakh at that moment. So if you scan the QR code, you should be able to see one of the 360 videos. Next slide is Kores DIT. So we also ran this campaign with WYP, which is an advertising agency, and Kores for DIT, which was a do-it-together kit. There was a set of 5 kits that were designed, and these were pretty much to bring parents together to spend 15 minutes of quality constructive time with their parents. And what that does is, with our fast lives, we kind of don't spend enough time with our kids. And this kit was just so that, they could use some happy building time together. And what we added was a little bit of oomph and technology to it, is that we added a AR card to it. So if you built your kit and you put the AR card in front of it, you had to just download the app, and on your phone, if you'd scan the AR card over, you would see your kit come alive. And as you'll see in the images on the screen, beyond just the build, there's also animated characters that would move about. So what this did was it just added that little oomph and got kids a little bit more sensitized to the possibilities of technology. I would also like to show you now a mission. Okay, so National Geographic Channel started a show called Mission to Mars, and for that they did a ground activity in which we were brought in as content partners. Can we play the video, please?
And we're getting a picture on the TV.
Okay, all flight controllers, go for landing. Capcom, we're go for landing. Touchdown confirmed.
Be ready to bring down the camera?
I'm all ready. I think it's okay, you'll have to pay out all the LEC. It looks like it's coming out nice and evenly.
That max acceleration? No. Hey, that was a good stop. Those wheels just locked. Mark off. Man, I'll tell you, Indy's never seen a driver like this. Houston, we'd like you to press on to star 44, over. 11, Houston, we copy. 2 good marks, over.
So this is becoming streamlined. So yeah, so with augmented reality, the fun thing is that, again, in this particular case, if you take a screen grab of this and put your Android phone over the QR code, you'll be directed to a Dropbox link in which you can download an APK. And that APK is this dancing astronaut that you see. And what you'll have to do is you'll have to just move your phone over this sticker that you see on the top left-hand side, this little artwork, scribble doodle. And on that artwork, this astronaut would come alive, pretty much dancing, and it'll give you a couple of options in terms of, whether to rotate it left, right. You can have 2-3 dance options, and so on and so forth. I mean, we've played with it, but that's how accessible augmented reality is becoming these days. The next is a video which I think I'm just going to play off this screen itself. As a marker, and then you get the phone in here, and once the phone reads it, it's got that in. Okay. And yeah, do you want me to tilt it?
I'll do that.
And you can, so that gives you a quick idea. What we did is we took this experiment a little further for Skoda, and what we made, again, this is thanks to the PR team, is what we were told that, okay, let's try new technology. So what we said was, yes, you can take the Skoda logo because it has about 50 tracker points, and using that, put any new product launch on the logo itself. So if anybody was to move their phone over the Skoda logo, they would be able to see this new car launched, which you could then change its colors, interiors, scale. You could open parts of the car, and you could get more of a VR experience from augmented. So you shift from augmented into virtual reality. Taking this a little further, what we've also worked on is video, 360 video into 360 video, and that also can have multiple endings, which means that if I shoot me right now and I click on me, I can make me do 2 or 3 different things depending on how I program it together. A quick example of this is the next video, which again, I'll just play off this machine itself.
Okay.
Yeah, so you've got different videos that you can click in, and you can also interact and make the human being interactive, like things like that. And this is full 360 videos, and it's full thing. And like you can click on video, and you'll get into another 360 videos.
Okay.
And menus at the bottom. So sorry, I'm have to click on this because it's 360. I mean, we haven't done full setup.
Okay.
But yeah, this is it. It's actual video. It's 360 and it's interactive. And there's other side also, which you'll have to take long hands.
Oh, there's one guy.
Yeah. Okay, so that guy can be also clicked. So you click the guy and he does something.
Oh, wait.
What we've also done is we've built one module called Space Sounds. Now, of course, space does not have sounds, but it has a lot of waves, and waves that can be worked into, like it's converted into audible sounds. So this is an app that we made again as a VR headset app that can also be viewed on your handheld phone or on using a simple, Google Cardboard box or buying a Proxys headset in which you put your phone in and you can play it off. So as you'll read on the left, sound that cannot travel through the vacuum of space, but instructions, you just have to move the circle around to the object, and if you look on the right hand side, like say for example, if I clicked on the sun, the big circle would go on the sun, and I'd be able to see and hear the sounds of the sun. So I'm hearing the sounds versus I can see this little pop-up that comes in which says that the eruption occurred on the sun that produced solar flare and magnetic displays known as coronal rain. Similarly, Earth gives its own hum, and then what we did is we took stuff from all over, free stuff available already on the internet, which is like colliding black holes, the sound of the Rosetta Stone, and so on and so forth, and kind of built this educational module for kids for them to be able to experience the universe. Because when you actually put that on and you're standing and you see that you're actually in the middle of nowhere in space with these hums, it's an interesting experience. It's something else. So this is one of the things. Then of course COVID happened, and as with all things, we were extremely angry and aggressive and very, very perturbed because there were so many things planned out for this year and it just went down the drain. But then we had to improvise, right? And then that's the important thing, because as a designer, your main one of the key things that you're taught is that you're always trying to find solutions, and solutions is the key to everything. I mean, you can't get bogged down. So in the beginning, I was in this fear zone, and Stacey Flynn Shelton has actually made this graph, and it's something that I identify with a lot. So in the beginning, we were in this fear zone, and we were like angry and like, you know, whatever, complaining and so on and so forth, but kind of shifted towards the learning and the growth zone pretty early on, because it was just absolutely necessary to start improvising and adapting. Otherwise, it would just be a spoiled, wasted time, because there's only that much time you have on this planet. So yeah, going with that, in the beginning, I used to just talk to pigeons and you know, really waste my time. But then I started getting a little creative, and the next video can be played, which is called "Swim, Please." So yeah, so you know, swimming is still not allowed, and I'm definitely in love with swimming, and I wasn't allowed to do it. So the idea was to just get creative. I'm gonna get back into sharing the screen and play this. Yes. So what this does is this brings us to the possibilities of what the future holds. And since we've been doing tests with technology since 2016, I'm going to take you through some of the areas that one can work on. This is something that was shared by Rajat Das Gupta in the Animators Guild group. And you can screen grab it, but largely what it says is, if you look at the year 2020, it says all these factors are now converging. The rise of robots and printing and things becoming faster are all converging to push seemingly futuristic technologies out of the lab and send them to the same path taken by personal computing and consumer electronics. And nothing has changed. In fact, what COVID and what the lockdown has done is it's in fact springboarded this and made it even faster. And that is something that you should, as future business leaders and as future thought leaders, you should be very aware of the fact that technology is here to help us. And it's not a Terminator scenario. It's actually there to help us, and we should be aware of what the advancements are, because in today's world, knowledge is, and it is actually not in just today's world, knowledge in general throughout civilization has been an extremely key benefactor of civilization. So yeah, and the next slide is about, again, this is something that you guys can read when you have the time, but largely I just want to say exponential advances in enabling technologies have reached the point at which they could trigger disruptive change in sectors from artificial intelligence to robotics to medicine. As a result, many experts argue that tomorrow's world will be unrecognizable from that of today. And when they say tomorrow's world, if you'll see in this graph, they haven't gone beyond 2020 from 2004. And that's the world that you've lived in. So just push that to 2040 and you've got a whole different game going on. Because recently I attended a Zoom wedding of a cousin, and it was a brave new world, because everything was happening with social distancing, but at the same time there was an MC who was sitting in some other location, parents were in some other location, cousins were all over the world, and they had kind of adapted to this Zoom wedding, so that and there was a sangeet, there was everything, but it was happening with like different nuclear family units coming together for this digital get together, which makes you wonder that yes, we have to adapt and overcome, because COVID's not going anywhere for the next until we get the vaccine. So give you an example of this. In May, we were again brought in by the Skoda PR team, and we were supposed to and it was supposed to be a live event, right, which was launching 3 big cars for them for India. Figuring out what to do with, and by this time Mr. Zach Hollis was in the Czech Republic. We were in India, and the data was coming in between both the countries, and it was crazy, because we shot him in the Czech Republic and we did the graphics and the CGI here in India on 5 laptops. of my team going crazy. And mind you, my team, I love my team. They're really good at what they do, but they were going crazy. And we put it together live as a live event, which went live on the 26th of May. On the 26th of May. On YouTube and Facebook and Instagram, and got more than 1 million views and so on and so forth. But we adapted, and that's the key thing. Like and the CG was done here. So just going to take you through a video of this as well as a quick. Can we play the video, please?
The first virtual press conference in the history of Skater Auto India, and you can attend it in your pajamas.
All right. So yeah, I'm just going to take you to something known as the virtual exhibition space. Now, obviously, right now we're here working on Webinar Jam, which has that much capability. But we saw this, and I love this effect that's happening on the screen right now. But we said, okay, let's take it beyond that. So we started building a conferencing platform, and there are already about 15 to 20 other people across the globe who have started working on this. And what we said is, okay, you can design this as any which way you want to. Right, you can have different designs for all of this. So I'm going to just take you through the quick prototype, which is the line drawing that we did. And we said, okay, let's put this together, in which you have like a sort of a virtual space, like a web space, in which then you can have people, like you can play videos, you can have multiple banner space for advertising, you can have auditoriums, you can have exhibit rooms, in which in the exhibit rooms you can have different exhibitors coming in and showcasing their wares or their products and so on and so forth. And once you enter the booth, you should be able to then chat with the person, or get some sort of play one of their videos, or be able to download their brochure, or place your visiting card and move on with it, which is what exhibitions used to be classically, or expos used to be classically. So we said, why not create a sort of a Bombay exhibition space in which these could be 3 different events happening at the same time. And we kind of skinned it, and skinning means adding a visual to it. And we built this. And now imagine this is one step in which you have something which looks very generalized, and you have spaces for banners and all of that in here with feedback forms and all of that. But this can be custom built to a company's requirement. So say, for example, if this is Tata, this space could be the Tata Management Center, and you could have had the different options available in terms of auditorium, exhibition spaces, and so on and so forth, custom built for this. And that's very easily possible. So this is one prototype that we've been working on, which should be live anytime soon, which is something that can be taken forward. And the beauty of this is that if, say, now I'm clicking auditorium, I should be taken into an actual auditorium space, in which, again, you have branding possibilities, and you can do different things. There's also the aspect of having private rooms for private room conversations, which is something that you can just do by entering level 2. And in level 2, you can set up different rooms. So say, for example, and this happens classically also, is if there is a CXO of a company who needs to have a conversation with a media person, so then they can be directed to Audi 1 to have their own little Zoom meeting, or WebEx meeting, or a Webinar Jam meeting, or a Google Meet meeting, and so on and so forth. And for the exhibition, which is the exhibit rooms and the exhibitors, you have a separate room, which is now, obviously we skinned it, so we added a little bit more panache to it. And you can choose different people as well. So now this is just saying booth A, booth B, but this could be Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Sprite, right? And I say, okay, I want to go to Sprite. And then, although they're all Coca-Cola brands, Coca-Cola and Sprite are, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And then, yeah, you get to view information, you can chat, play video, give feedback, brochure, connect, social, and so on and so forth. So again, this is what is happening, and this just adds a little bit more oomph to the classical just staring at the Dostra effect on this screen with my mouse moving around. With that, I will just change my screen sharing to application window, comms, share that, correct, and yes. So what does this get us down to? So visual communication or communication design can be brought down into this beautiful saying by Clint Eastwood, which is improvise, adapt, overcome. And that is something that we have to with today's world and the kind of times that we live in. And it's the truth. But keeping that in mind, I would like to apologize in true internet and meme culture from 9gag by sharing a potato video, which is the last video to be played for now.
So what exactly are we doing?
Val, if you can play that, please. Thank you.
So what exactly are we doing?
We're just chopping a potato, man.
With an axe.
With an axe. Alright.
Do that again.
With an axe. Yeah? If I fucking fail, it's gonna be miserable.
I'm covering my gonads right now. The potato remains. The cutting pad is gone.
Oh my god.
Oh fuck. Dude, yeah, I'm sorry, man. I did not expect that to happen.
If it plays. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed this presentation, and I cut it short a bit with the videos. You can always get onto wearetrip.in and you should be able to see these videos. Thank you, Balkrishna. You can take over now, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So I have a couple of questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
So first one is because of the digitization, there are advantages and disadvantages. So do you think experience of becoming an artist or gradual evolution of an artist is compromised now?
No, I don't think so. See, so as a designer, we've always been taught, and I don't know if I agree with it or not, but it's been taught that an artist can be a designer, but a designer cannot be an artist. Because as designers, our job is to communicate and to provide solutions, versus an artist's job is to create art, is to create emotion, it can be something that can be very personal for them as well. But for design, we have to keep everything on the communication platform. So is digitization a good thing or bad thing? I don't think so, because there is some crazy amount of good art that is happening using the digital tools as well. So, yeah.
Sir, because of the current situation of COVID, what adaptation you have made in your business?
So, like I just showed you examples of, we were doing a massive live event with 3 car launches that was supposed to happen. And it kind of became a virtual thing in which there was something being shot in the Czech Republic, something integrated here. I'll give you a really funny actual thing that happened. The green screen footage that we shot of Mr. Zach Hollis was 600 GB, not MB, GB, right? And live streaming that is not a joke. Live streaming that sitting on a MacBook is not a joke either. But the funny part here is that for us, when we were saying, okay, fine, live stream ho gaya, integrate humne kar diya graphics ke saath. But when we wanted to download it, right, it took us 6 days to download that at a 100 Mbps connection. And it took, so we said, okay, let's send us a hard disk also. We asked the Czech team to send us a hard disk. And that hard disk came, I think, last week.
Okay.
So we had to completely shift all our things. Usually, if something was shot abroad, we wait for the hard disk to come because, that's the easiest way for things to get done. But hard disk ka kuch option hi nahi tha. Downloading digital also, it was very difficult. So there was a lot of, shifts that had to happen to make things work. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. We're just adapting. We're adapting and overcoming. Because the talent is there. The talent can work from their home. The talent can create things. But if I want to do, say, a hologram, right? And I want that hologram's VFX done. I need heavy duty machines. And those heavy duty machines need servers. And those servers need space. So what we've done is we've shifted to the cloud. Like the machines in office right now are just pretty much sitting redundant. What we've done is we've started outsourcing our rendering services to the cloud. So, you adapt. You just have to keep adapting.
Great. So next question is a little personal one. So in childhood, mostly kids usually want to become either doctor, engineer, or they want to join army. When did you realize that you want to be in this field?
So when I was a kid, I wanted to be a tractor. Okay, I wanted to be a tractor. I wanted to be a racing car. I wanted to be the car, not the driver or the actual object things. So it was kind of look, okay. I've always loved drawing shoes. I used to draw shoes from 8th standard onwards on all my books, on the tops and the sides and the corners and so on and so forth. And around the 10th, my grandfather actually, and I used to tell Dad that, Dad, I want to get into cartoons and so on and so forth. And he used to be like, yeah, sure, do it. No worries. Just do it. Follow your heart, follow your dream, but do it as a hobby. Use your brain. Like, you've got a good brain, use it. And I used to be like, yeah, but my granddad actually took the initiative and said, look here, there's and at that time it was, I think, Aptech, computer education, and they used to have this animation course. My granddad said, go do it. And I was like, okay, no, that's not what I had in mind. Because I saw it and I saw them doing it, and I was like, okay, this is not what I had in mind. I had something like more educational and all that in mind. And luckily my sister told me about NID, and then NID is something that I saw, and I was like, okay, look, this is where I actually want to go. I want to help improve the quality of communication that we have currently. तो वो मतलब ऐसे एक linear कुछ नहीं हुआ था, हर चीज ऐसे sports में it all added up.
Right. So from where do you get the inspiration to go to this level of creativity?
While taking a dump. It's just it's like the eureka moment that no, but I'm kidding. See, it's creativity is nothing but a lot of hard work. You have to keep getting inspired. You have to keep pushing yourself, keep pushing the envelope. You have to keep being aware that, look, the minute I stop learning something new, I will start phasing out. And for me, that is the most important thing, because a lot of the ideas that we get is not directly, oh, this is graphic design, or this is animation, or this is film and video. No, a lot of the ideas that we get is because I saw a textile print in Rajasthan, which had this amazing piece of, the last bit of stitching that they do, so that the kapde phurte nahi hai na, jo phurre jo nikalte hain. So that reminds you of something, and that connects to something else. So you have to always keep your mind open for picking up information. So yeah.
Right. Sir, now this question is specifically for the management student, because most of the audience is the management students.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any opportunities? I'm sure there are opportunities, but is there any opportunities for management students in creative field?
Of course, there is a lot of opportunity. In fact, like I said, like the Skoda PR team, for example, right? Like we work with them quite closely, and they're managers and they're management folks. So it's from the client side, yes, it's extremely important to have that. And then from the agency side also, you have managers as well, and not just in. Look, there are managers everywhere, literally, and there's management because you'll have the finance department, you have the HR department, you even have client servicing, which requires project managers as well. So yes, having a creative streak in you is great, but yes, the manager requirement is there everywhere. I mean, it's not isolated, so to speak.
Sir, any master advice for the young managers?
Master advice. Look, just keep doing what you're doing, and extremely important to know that you are great at what you do, but you're not going to be great at everything. People who are good at other things, let them do their job. I think that's an extremely important thing. That's something that as we go higher in the food chain, we kind of keep forgetting that, look, oh, I know everything. Nobody, you don't. There are newer things happening by that 15-year-old intern also, who will have more knowledge on certain aspects than you do, because the world is changing quite quickly. So my advice would be, stay open to thought. Don't push your own thoughts onto others. be in a collaborative frame of mind. That's extremely important.
Thank you so much, sir. There are n number of questions, but because of the time constraint, we cannot take it right away. Probably we'll send you an email with the questions.
Sure. Sounds good. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's as quickly as I could put it together. So I did.
And thank you so much, sir, for sharing your experiences with us. Your energy and your smile is inspiring. On behalf of IIEBM family, wish you a great success in all your future endeavors. We look forward to host you and have another Power Pack session with the students when the classes begin.
Sure.
With the hope of meeting you again, long live IIEBM and Jai Hind.
Jai Hind, Jai Hind. Cheers. Take care. All right. See you.
Thank you
all
so
the
much, sir. Take care.